And welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. And I am Shanrae. Good evening, everybody. Hey, CJ, how are you? And thank you, CJ, for sending that to me on Instagram. I didn't realize it was 30 years. And thank you for that. That's a blessing. We're going to see what's going on with your campaign, okay? I do like what you're doing. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. All right. This is our last night of my Counsel of the Day with Shanrae for August. And then I'm going to see y'all November 2023. Hi, Peaches. How you doing? I'll see y'all in November for the whole month of November. And I'm going to wrap up the year with that. So let's move this along. I'm going to say I have to do this, guys, because for new viewers, they don't know my bio. They don't know a lot of things about me. So I have to repeat this every time I come on. All right. So let's move this along. Let me do my website disclaimer. Okay. Did I move that out the way I did? Accidentally. All right. Please be aware that due to the nature of the technology that I'm using, that there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should also be noted that due to changes in policies, that all replies are being used as advisory and informational only and will constitute an official determination. Information provided by me are subject to limitations of the current and available material, but the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal rests with you. Information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information does change frequently, and it is recommended that you consult another physician, specialist, or religious leader to aid you in your overall behavioral wellness. I'm going to give you a little brief part of my bio. Okay, and what did CJ say? He said, yes, we need a reunion. That is so sweet of you. CJ, somebody else contacted me too about the 30th. I don't even know who this person is, but I thank y'all for what you're doing, though. All right, so I'm a degree counselor, and I've acquired a dual degree from a bachelor's of science degree from Ashford University, and it's in psychology and organizational management. My great passion is bringing healing to people who have been through traumatic and stressful experiences. And so when we as human beings experience trauma or life stressors, it is not uncommon that we kind of feel like our life is unraveling. So I help clients who include children, adults, families, and couples to find healthy perceptions of themselves and to help them strengthen their relationships so they can know themselves as whole, peaceful, and complete and safe. All right, so let's move this along. I am a Christian counselor. And so the scripture that I've used for the month comes from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 23, the New International Version, and it says to be made new in the attitude of your mind. Now let's move this along to our key points for tonight. And then I have 6 of them. So it's again, we're going to be talking about 25 best jobs for people with hyperfocus, ADD, ADHD. Number two is the three types of ADHD and their symptoms. I don't think I've ever talked about the difference, the breakdown of hyperfocus and all of that. Number three, adults versus children ADHD symptoms. I may or may not talk about that. You know what? I am reading the wrong. Okay, that's what happened. I got the wrong stuff. Let me start all over again. I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong key points. This is from Tuesday night. I knew something was a little off. Okay, the key points for tonight are the best jobs for people with ADHD. Finding a job that you love is number two. Number three is figuring out what lights your fire when it comes to careers. Number four is best occupation for people with hyperfocus, ADD, ADHD. Number five is how to stay motivated. And number six is a word from Living Well. Now, I want to move this along. I just incorporated this. This is where I got my motivation from Mr. Bean's movie that's on Netflix, A Man versus Bee. And I want to open this up just a little bit and then I'll minimize it. This is Mr. Myron Golden. He is a multimillionaire. He's also he's a motivational speaker, and he's a teacher as well. And so it's something that I watch him a lot. I watch a lot of it because he teaches on finances and how you can become rich. That's what he does. And so he talked about hyperfocus, ADD, ADHD one day in one of his teachings. And he said that to him, all that is to him, ADD, hyperfocus, ADHD, dyslexia, all that is to him is what he calls ECA, extra creative ability. And I'm going to keep saying that because it's very, very true. People with these diagnoses, y'all have an extra creative ability. You think about all of the actors and the actresses and the sports people who are famous, these celebrities that may have had these diagnoses, like I mentioned before, Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, it's Jim Carrey, whole group of people that have these diagnoses, but they are brilliant in their craft. And so Myron Golden, he calls it extra creative ability. And I totally agree with him because a lot of times people with these diagnoses, you all think outside of the scope. Y'all color outside of the lines, which makes you a super duper creative. I love it. All right, so let's move this on. All right, tonight, and I'm going to brief it. This is our last night. I know it's probably going to run a little over 30 minutes, but it's going to be worth it. The best jobs for people with ADD, hyperfocus, ADHD. And it says, it breaks it down. It's always going to break down the definition of this. So it's it's a mental health disorder that affects children and adults. Okay. So while it can be managed with proper treatment and care, symptoms, they just don't go away on their own. And this can prove challenging for people that have these diagnoses when it comes to finding and maintaining a job a lot of times. And a lot of times it becomes difficult when it's not treated properly. That's what it is. Now, I have Peaches on here. This is my sister. She is a school principal out there in Virginia. And I know that as a school principal, because I'm a retired teacher, I know that she's had a lot of dealings with students and parents as well with maybe these diagnoses, whether they're formally diagnosed or she just recognizes the symptoms. So again, it comes it's a challenge. Like it says, this can be proven as a challenge when it comes to finding and not only maintaining jobs, but doing other things in life. So it says that it can be hard to function in the workplace. So depending on diagnosis and the severity of the disorder, Peaches said she said for real. She said for real. Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna pause here. I was visiting, my husband and I were visiting some friends of ours yesterday. And the husband is a veteran he's a veteran sped teacher now, counselor. And he's been in the education, teaching in education for well over 30 years, And he is amazing because he has a record. He has a standing record of, and he does high school sped. So his record is his classes that he's dealt with down through the years. He has a high high school graduation rate, and then his students move on to going to college. I'm talking about like Georgia State colleges like that. And I would talk with him when I was teaching with the middle schoolers in my department with SPED and MOID. I would go to him and ask him for advice because his track record was so amazing. And we were just talking about like even some of his recent graduates. Now he's more moved into the counseling field, but just to hear how his treatment, how he works with his high school students, regardless of the challenges, he meets them where they are, and then he makes sure that he says it's amazing. It's still amazing to him how they graduate high school. They're not just passed along, they graduate high school and go to college and become successful. Peaches said, awesome. I love the high school split. Yes, exactly. All right. So going back to what this is saying, it says that if these symptoms or these diagnoses are getting in the way of your professional success, it may be time to reconsider either your career path. And I'm going to always say, especially as a counselor, if you're not getting treatment, it is definitely time for you to consider getting treatment so you can become more successful in your life's journey, and you can be the best version of yourself that you can be. All right. So it says here, to thrive at work, you want to find a job that matches your skills, interests, and your talents. You want to learn some of the best jobs for people with these diagnoses, along with how to stay motivated at work. Okay, now that staying motivated at work, that's an issue for anyone. We all are like that, trying to find ways to stay motivated at work. Hold on, I want to make sure it looks a little dark on my end. I'm gonna brighten this up if y'all don't mind. Put a little brightness on this. I hope. Oh God, that didn't work. Oh Jesus, hold on, it got worse. All right, I don't know. It got a little worse, but sometimes my computer cuts up like that. All right, so now it says let's find a job that you love. All right, and let me move this along. Finding a job that you love. It says that the biggest work-related challenges with people with these diagnoses, or with anyone, isn't necessarily managing your symptoms, but though this can prove difficult, but rather maintaining interest in the work that you're doing. So if you take a job, maybe as a dental assistant, but you have zero interest in dentistry, okay, you're going to struggle with seemingly easy tasks. So this is why you need to find a job that interests you. And that's with anyone. Peaches said that they should, Peaches said first, rapport, success stories, building rapport. She said rapport, and they should find a job of their, exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Peaches. That is so true. So it says that if pointed in the right direction, hyperfocus, ADD, ADHD can be a superpower, which we talked about there earlier. That's that ECA, the extra creative ability. All right. So it's a superpower, as says Dr. Billy Roberts. Okay. And he's a therapist at Focused Mind ADHD Counseling Services. So an online career assessment can offer you some ideas, but it is important to take time for your own self-reflection. So grab a notebook or journal and think about some of the answers to some of these questions. So I'm about to pose some questions right now. Number one says, what topics can you spend hours researching or talking about? That's one thing. And these questions are going to maybe help motivate you to move into that career path that works best for you. Number two, if you can spend your weekend doing anything, what would you do? Number three, what tasks do you find boring or unfulfilling? Number four, do you find it challenging to work in a team environment? Okay, that's a good question. Number five, do you enjoy taking charge? All right, number 6, what are your biggest pet peeves? Number 7, do you enjoy the thrill of fast-paced environments? Number 8 is what activities feel draining to you, or what activities excite you? And number 9 is if money were not a factor, if money wasn't a factor, what job would you love to do? If money wasn't a factor, I'm telling you, with me, the job that I would love to do is what I'm doing, counseling or teaching. And it goes hand in hand. That's what I love to do. I really do. Y'all know I'm a singer by nature. I can do that in my sleep. But the job that if money wasn't a factor, would be teaching or counseling. All right. So let's move this along. I'm so sorry. It's so dark. It's a little dark. I don't know. My computer is cutting up a little bit. All right, so it says, now let's find the best jobs for your unique or your ECA brain, the extra creative brain. You need to figure out what lights your fire. All right, and I keep telling y'all over and over again what lights my fire. Teaching, counseling, those type of things light my fire. I can do that easily. Okay. All right, so it says a study published in the Journal of Attention Disorders. And y'all, I love what I do. I love learning more and more and more about. Peter said they should find. Okay. I love learning as I do this. I learn so much. You know, although I'm a degree counselor, it doesn't mean I know everything that's happening in my field. So the research, I learn more and more. And with me, I love learning more and more about this field and my topics or my degree. So it says a study published in the Journal of Attention Disorders. There's a Journal of Attention Disorders, guys. Found that those with hyperfocus, ADD, ADHD reported more real world creative achievements. I'm going to say that again. In the study of the Journal of Attention Disorders, there is a finding, which means there's a long-term study that proves that people with hyperfocus, ADD, ADHD, those type of things are reported. They reported more of a real world creative achievements than those that don't have this. Okay, but also revealed that adults with these disorders are selective. They're selective with their output, choosing creative tasks and environments that fit their skills and their preferences. All right, so now let's talk about the best occupations. I talked a little bit about this on Tuesday night, and you're probably gonna hear a couple of more things repeated, but I'm gonna say it again. So it says, because of what Dr. Myron Golden says, because of the ECA, the extra creative ability, the unique ability to solve problems and create systems when interested in their work, reports Dr. Roberts says that many people with these diagnoses do well as entrepreneurs, computer programmers, and within creative industries. So here's some more that great at: sales representatives, again, small business owners, hospitality workers, chefs, teachers, emergency first responders, which I always call them the doctors on mobile doctors, or the doctors on wheels, computer technicians, artists or writers, engineers, and athletes. So you can do any job that you want, but often individuals with these ECA, I'm going to call it extra creative abilities, do well with flexible or non-traditional schedules. Okay, they also tend to be calm under pressure, and they thrive in fast-paced environments such as classrooms, hospitals, or restaurants. Okay, this is an open platform, guys. So if you have any questions, I will pause and I will answer them to the best of my ability. If I don't know the answer, I will research it and get back to you in the comments. Or if you want to share a scenario, feel free. I will pause and I will highlight it. All right, let's move this along. How to stay motivated. Okay, now this is for everybody, not just people with ECA, the extra creative ability. All right. It says how to stay motivated. So a 2021 study on hyperfocus, ADD, ADHD in the workplace found that between 55% and 69% of individuals with these diagnoses reported impairments in getting work done efficiently and working to their full potential. The same study also found that between 20% to 23% of individuals with these diagnoses reported impairments and getting fired from the workplace and problems with their attendance. Okay, but no matter what job you take, you may experience some cognitive disabilities or difficulties, and that's with any of us. All right, I shared on Tuesday night, guys, and I had to reassess myself to see if where did I drop the ball. But I had until Monday. I was given 1 week. I want to be a part of this project, and in order for me to get chosen to be a part of this project, I had to take a 3-module test, part test, and each module of the test is 3 hours. So when I received the information last Monday, and so they gave us a study guide. So I took, I have a really busy schedule, so I was studying in between wherever I could, and especially late at night when I finished everything, I just sat down and I just zoned in and studied the study guide. And so I was trying to get through the study with each module, because again, each module is 3 hours. It's a 3-module test in order for me to be chosen for this project. So I went ahead and took the test this past Monday. And again, my schedule was certain things I couldn't switch around, so my schedule was really hectic. I sat down about 8 o'clock at night to take the test. Okay, I already knew, wow, okay, they said each module was going to be, 3 hours. So I already knew that was a mess. So I sat down, I figured out maybe I can cut everything in half. I could not. They were very, it took 3 hours for me to get through that first module. And they said if you miss anything, I guess a certain percentage, you don't move on to the next. Guys, I wasn't able to move on to the next module because there was something that I missed in there. I didn't make that percentage. So I sat down and I evaluated over and over again. This is about again, we're talking about how to stay motivated and stuff, and time management. So I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, well, how could I have done something differently? And I just kept reassessing, and I was like, my schedule is so tight, I just could not, So I just chalked it up. But the next day, on Tuesday, I said it on Tuesday night, I got an email. And the people, they contacted me again, and they was like, we really want you to be a part of this project. So we're going to give you another opportunity to retake the test. And again, it's going to be 3 modules and everything. And they'll send me when they're going to go on and get me in the system. And I have 7 days to go on and do it. They asked, was I interested? I said, yes. Now, again, my schedule is tight, but I'm going to try to rearrange some things where I can really, really get in there and really, I pray that I can pass the modules, because the exams they're very hard. They really are. And I consider myself semi-smart. I consider myself semi-intelligent. So I'm going to try it again. And I'm like, well, if I don't pass, then I guess it ain't meant for me to be a part of it. But, again, and I'm saying this to say that it's difficult for anyone to stay motivated, anyone with their time management, especially if you have a tight schedule. But these strategies that I'm giving, this is not just for the person with the ECA, the extra creative ability or brain. This is for us all. So how to stay motivated. Let me make sure how to stay motivated. And it says a 2021 study on these diagnoses in the workplace, and I already read that. So no matter what job you take, you may experience cognitive difficulties. And I said that to say, because I did not pass that first module because it was a doozy. That exam was a doozy. Number 1, it says forgetting important details from a conversation, even if you did your best to listen actively. Okay, these are some things. Checking emails may overwhelm you sometimes or at times. Number 3, essential tasks may feel impossible to finish. And number 4, it says showing up consistently late, even if you set an early alarm. Number 5 is feeling unproductive, even if you're working longer hours than your coworkers. So it says here, and I like the way it says it here. It says, none of these things make you a bad employee. And it doesn't. These are just simply challenges. That's all. They don't make you a bad employee. Let me move this along. So here's what you can do to maintain your motivation. Okay, avoid boredom and stay productive regardless of what you do. Number one, maximize your energy. All right, so because individuals with these disorders can laser focus on tasks for hours, they are capable of massive bursts of creativity, which they can lean on for larger creative projects, says Dr. Roberts. All right, so there may be moments when everything feels like a struggle, and there may be other moments when you feel extremely energized and want to accomplish every item on your to-do list. So when these moments hit, take full advantage of them. And if there's a specific time of the day when you feel most, try and work your schedule around that time. I know I had to learn how to do that. And if you work best at nighttime, for instance, you might want to work the night shift. Okay, I'm a New Yorker. Peaches is a New Yorker. I'm a night owl. That's that most New Yorkers are. Okay, number two says to build a routine. All right, and these are all ways to help build the motivation. Build a routine. Motivation may never come. So building a routine, start building a simple routine. This often difficult is often difficult for individuals with these diagnoses, says Dr. Kojo. All right, but it can help you get started and follow through on specific tasks, even if these tasks are boring. You can choose to exercise at the same time each morning or complete the most comprehensive work task first in case you get sidetracked. So the more prepared you are, the easier it will be to avoid distractions. One problem often faced by individuals with these diagnoses is hyper-focusing on tasks that they're just not beneficial at that moment. Dr. Kojo explains, which is why it is important to set a routine. Okay, so you don't get sidetracked on things that are not important. Number three says take a break. All right, so the ECA brain, the extra creative ability brain, it affects your brain chemistry, and sustaining attention and focus for long periods can be difficult, Dr. Roberts says. So you may need to take more breaks to regenerate your energy. How long should you work on your work or break? Depends on you, on the individual. So you may fade or become distracted maybe after 45 minutes or an hour of working, says Dr. Roberts. If this is the case, try setting your alarm. And when they say this, that means try setting multiple alarms throughout the day. A lot of us have great phones where you can go in and your alarm app, and you can set your alarms throughout the day. Or if you want to just go into the one alarm, when it goes off, make sure you hit where it says do it again, reset it the same way again. But just continue that type of routine because it does work. If this is the case, again, it says try setting the alarms. So when the alarm goes off, give yourself a break, go for a walk, make a snack, or call a friend. I don't suggest calling anybody when you're at work because you definitely will get sidetracked and then you wind up being on a break too long and wind up getting in trouble. All right. So running at full speed 24/7 will lead to burnout, and it always does. Okay. So give yourself breaks and take advantage of the mental health days on your jobs. Okay. Number 4 says to set goals and expectations. Set goals and hey, Helen, how are you? Set goals for yourself and realistic expectations. Okay. That's like somebody saying, I need to lose 100 pounds and I got to do it in 30 days. We know that is not a realistic expectation. You can starve yourself the whole 30 days and still don't lose 100 pounds. All right. So when they say set goals and expectations, set goals and realistic expectations. In the workplace, adults with these disorders, hyperfocus, ADD, ADHD, they tend to be motivated by specific goals and outcomes, such as monetary rewards, okay, or beating an opponent. They may also perform better and feel more confident when their diagnosis is known and they're supported by their employees or their team. So if you feel comfortable, let your manager know about the diagnosis and see what adjustments or changes that can be made to ensure that you can stay productive and stay on task on the job. Make sure that you discuss expectations and goals, as well as find out what promotional and growth opportunities exist on the job. If you work for yourself, then set your own expectations, like the SMART goals. And we all know, excuse me, there's a net. We all know SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, and relevant. Okay, to build a plan that is both flexible and achievable. Now, I wanted to pause here really quickly. When I was teaching my middle school special ed classes, MOID classes, I said it before, we took hey okay Helen, we took very frequent breaks with our students, because we knew after maybe about 15-20 minutes, we did it regularly. After about 15 or 20 minutes of learning, they were overloaded. They had to stop. We had to stop and do something else. Let them rest. Let them put their head on the desk. Yes, middle schoolers. Let them put their head on the desk. I always put on meditation type of music, things, whether it was water running or environmental. But we did that, and we had a schedule, and we learned that our team, our classes, they worked better. They retained information better when they had frequent breaks. So it does work when it says take frequent breaks, set goals, and certain expectations. Now we're gonna move on. A word from Very Well. So Very Well is a online. It's a online like journal type thing, and it talks about a lot of times ADD, ADHD, hyperfocus, dyslexia. But it's a really, really good platform to get great information. So individuals, it says individuals with hyperfocus, ADD, ADHD may become easily bored, unfocused, or unmotivated in the workplace. But that does not mean that they don't work hard. In fact, individuals with these diagnoses can become addicted to work, okay, or a workaholic. So you may be highly motivated to do certain things and complete a lot of tasks that you're interested in, says Dr. Kojo, causing you to run out of energy. This type of energy can be translated to the work environment, where you may overwork yourself. I've actually witnessed that. Okay, so it can go both ways. Some people may struggle with getting their work done, where others may become workaholics. Now, okay, I ended almost in 30 minutes. Y'all know from the beginning of this month all the way to the end, when I learned about ADA community. This is an online community specified for people who are with the diagnosis or symptoms of ADD, ADHD, hyperfocus, dyslexia. ADA plus community. Join it. It's a community where your support. It's a support group. You have such great advice. Different strategies that are shared. ADA plus community. I'm so excited about this. And it's a support group. Go meet new friends, learn new strategies, learn how to become more creative, or how to do different things. ADA plus community. All right. Now, this is our takeaway for tonight. It says that it's important to find a job, once again, that you love. And this is Dr. Kojo's recommendations. Number one, Dr. Kojo says, don't forget to schedule your rest times. Number two says to practice positive self-talk. You have to practice talking positive to yourself. Hey, Aunt Kiwi, how are you? Number three, don't forget to exercise. For whatever works for you. I started my line dance class. I do that once a week whenever my body can handle it. Y'all know I love to jump rope. I used to walk for years. I used to walk. And so I'm doing a cycle of that. I love step aerobics. Exercise, it just does something to your brain. So these are the three strategies that Dr. Kojo recommends, not just for people with ECA, with that extra creative ability brain, but these strategies can keep you motivated and prevent you from burning out completely. Now, our quote, this is the same quote that I've used all month long, and I love it. It says, you don't have to control your thoughts. Just You just have to stop letting your thoughts control you. This is by Dan Millman. All right. Now, I shared with y'all earlier about Learning RX. Peaches, Learning RX is everywhere. It is not, I don't know if they support, if insurance groups support it now. Initially, it did not, but they have affordable payment plans. Learning RX, let me read to you. It's a brain training environment, organization. And it says that more than 2,622 adults graduated, they call it graduating from Learning RX programs. The graduates of these programs, their IQ has improved by 13 plus IQ. During the periods, these students or these adults have made significant gains skills like in their working memory, their long-term memory, and their attention. So this organization was geared towards people with ADD, ADHD, you know, those type of things. But politicians, doctors, professors, a lot of professional people, pilots, they have invested in Learning RX to keep their minds and their brains sharp. And when I say I stand on Learning RX, they're located everywhere. Everywhere. I've been knowing about Learning RX for the last, 15 years. 15 years. And when I say that it's Learning RX, if you want to go to a place where you can improve, again, your working memory, cognitive skills, different things like that, long-term memory, Learning RX. Look it up. They give you the first thing is they'll give you a brain scan, and it'll show you, it'll print out, it'll show you the strong parts of your brain and those that need to be worked on. And then they go from there. They develop a whole plan for you and how you can work your strategies into strengthening those areas that need to be strengthened. Learning RX. All right, let me move this along. BetterHelp, y'all know. So it says, if you want a safe place to speak to a licensed professional online, BetterHelp offers affordable counseling sessions for individuals, couples, and families. www.betterhelp.com. All right. And also, I incorporated 988. As you see, it is a suicide hotline. If you know someone that may be struggling, and they need a safe place that they want to talk to. 988, the crisis helpline, is 24 hours, 24/7. They have licensed therapists online that you can talk to, and you can text them, you can chat with them, you can call them. You can, I think you can Zoom them or do like a FaceTime with them, but they are available 24/7. If you know someone who may be struggling with this, 988, share that information with them. All right. So let me move this along. This is my website theories. This is where I got my theories from this week. And this is from my fellow counselors. You can look it up and you can see for yourself that this is where I got my theories from. All right. So if there's a past Counsel of the Day with Shanrae that you've missed or you just want to rewatch, go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Then select any past series that you want to watch. Now, I am a degreed counselor, and I offer, let me move this along, and I offer one-on-one counseling services. So if you're interested in professional one-on-one counseling services, feel free to contact me. You can inbox me on any of my social media platforms. Facebook, my only active Facebook page is under my married name, Shanrae Owens. Everything else, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube is under Shanrae Price. All right, my professional name. Okay, you can inbox me and I will get back to you. Or if you just want to do old school and you want to email me, you can email me at shanrae.price@gmail.com. I'm a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in your life's goals and your life's dreams. And listen, I do quick emergency strategy calls. If you want to contact me, inbox me on any of my social media pages. I do 15-minute calls, 20, 30-minute calls. Depending on my schedule, you may be able to get an hour. Now, these are strategy calls. Everybody don't have to go into a contract. Sometimes some people just need to talk through something. Just and I'm available for that, for these strategy calls. And I said I'm going to start sharing this. I have actually worked out, and this is only for strategy calls. Okay, just a strategy call. That's it. But I can go. I'll do $2 a minute, but it's no less than 15 minutes. And depending on the time that you're calling, if I can give you a 30-minute strategy, 40-minute strategy, depending on the time. But I am available for a quick strategy if you need to talk through something, if you need to work through something. That sometimes people just need to do that. They just need to talk through something. I'm available. Contact me, inbox me through that, and I'll get back to you. Now, I want to thank y'all because I'm running over. Thank you for participating this month with Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. This month's topic has been hyperfocus disorder and everything affiliated with it. I like to bring awareness about certain disorders, and most of all, the treatments and strategies that will combat it. I will see y'all in November. I'm going to end the year, and we're going to end the year strong. So I will see y'all in November. We're going to talk about a different topic in November, for the month of November. Thank you for participating with Shanrae, Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I will see y'all in November. Y'all have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Enjoy the beginning of the fall. I'll see you back here on November for the whole month of November. We're going to end the year strong. All right. Good evening, everybody.